Hey, good morning, guys. Welcome. Friday, one of the best huddle days. We got the broker update coming shortly after this with David. But for those of you that haven't gotten a chance to meet me yet, I know we have some new people on this morning. My name is McGuire Tate. I'm a part of the corporate team. I'm also a broker in the field. So I got my eyes everywhere, just seeing all the great work that we're doing from the inside, the outside. And I've been a part of, many sports teams in my life, but I'm very proud to be a part of this DAC family, just all over the country, just serving business owners. And that kind of leads me right into, how we like to start these huddles, and that's the beliefs, that's the mission that we're on. I spent some time with chat this morning and a few facts. I was curious, and I said, it's my understanding that this alternative revenue funding space is fairly new, right? I mean, this isn't a 30, 50-year-old thing. This, is essentially a baby in the eyes of time, right? And it, kind of gave me the history of everything. And it said MCAs were in the works in the 90s and going into the early 2000s. That was the primary alternative, space to find funding. And then the financial crisis in 2008 happened, and the banks really tightened up. Access to working capital became more limited than it already was, which was already decently tough, right? And then the alternative, revenue space, this kind of branch off of, just getting funding offers based off the revenue, not the processing statements, came around, and it's had about 18 to 18 years to grow and become what it is today. So not only are we here to we say it every day, right, to help serve the business owners that are shaping our communities. They give us a place to dry clean our clothes and go out to eat and fix our cars, all these different things, right? But this way to secure funding when they need it the most has only been around for so long. So when we're offering this life preserver to them, it's really important to keep in mind that this hasn't been around for 50 years. So we're offering them something that is fairly new. And when we offer this lending hand, many already understand that the banks aren't a place that they can go. So let's keep that in mind. This is in this grand scheme of Father Time, we're offering something that's fairly new on the market, and it's here to serve. And there's a reason that it was created, right? And we live that through every day through our DAC family. So I'm going to move right into it. I'm super excited about today. I got a really good message. I'm going to try to zoom through it, so for the sake of time, but also make sure we get all the key points here. But first, our funding story today: a wholesale distribution center slash transportation center. The broker out of this is Terry Taylor. This client in specific, they were generating an impressive 110,000 in average monthly revenue, and initially approached us. They were seeking 75,000 to support some expansion efforts of theirs. He was even considering leveraging some of the property as collateral to secure that capital they needed. But instead, our Bank Breezy funding platform, not just getting them an offer, the team took the time to truly look and understand his vision, his growth plans, long-term objectives for the business. And through a detailed strategy and some discussion with him about the intended use of what he's trying to do, we were able to present a far more powerful solution: a $161,000 core rate program over 15 months with 100% prepayment discount. Come on. Rather than trying to, valuable, putting up his real estate for that collateral, the client chose to move forward with the full 161,000, unlocking more than double that capital that he originally needed without pledging property. So again, he didn't have to put up any collateral on this. How can you not love that? By working with the business owner and exploring how additional working capital could accelerate those expansion needs of his and strengthen some cash flow. Essentially, this funding, did exactly that and more, right? So that's what I'm trying to emphasize here, is that the Bank Breezy team not only delivers the value, the offers, but they went a step further past the funding. They were thoughtful and went through his business ideas and how he can grow that business with this new solution, our alternative funding option. So all around, great job to Terry bringing the business owner forward on this situation here, but also the Bank Breezy team working with the client. You can't beat it. Going through their specific needs, finding an offer without collateral. Love it. So moving right into today's topic. Like we said in the beginning, don't assume, just serve. Today is a simple concept, but it does touch wonders. And I said on Wednesday, when Ellen talked about her topic of don't really, she was saying, don't assume when you meet somebody what their situation is. We have no idea. And that's how I want to start this, is saying we're DAC brokers. We know what our mission is. We know what our purpose is, but we're not fortune tellers. We don't know every business owner's current situation, what their future is going to look like. And we're not here to guess it either, right? That's not our plan here and our purpose. We're here to truly just to serve business owners and provide them that access, that lane, that information to the best funding offers that they didn't know exist, or if they did, just didn't know that it could be this good, right? Just like this funding story we said. So some assumptions could be in our space. They probably won't qualify, or they probably won't even listen to me, right? They're way up here and they're this crazy exec and I'm just some funding broker. Or they probably are in a good spot. They look like their company's doing pretty good. I probably shouldn't murky the waters, right? I'm just going to leave it be. So the moment that we assume as brokers, as servers, we stop serving, right? We simply stop serving. So what does serving look like in our space? It means asking genuine questions that you truly want to listen to the response on, or being curious, genuinely curious about their business, creating that foundation in a professional relationship, or just being there to support, saying you're going to reach out and then reach out from time to time and really check in because you genuinely care, right? The reality is we don't decide who can get funded or how much they can get funded, right? Their business determines that. We simply make sure that everyone knows that they have an accessible way to funding if and when that time comes, and it's the best. That's what our job is. That's all we can control in our output, to make sure they know that, right? So some of the things that we believe, right? We say it every day. Every business owner is a rock star. They deserve this info. If you could say that before every call and every time you walk into a business, every business owner is grinding their gears. They deserve access to this information that they may not have, most likely don't have. Every conversation matters, right? So if you don't have that conversation, they never know. And then our job is to guide and to care. Again, we can't control those other factors, but if we can guide them to the information and care along the way until they need it, that is our goal, right? So the play for today is, it's not anything numerical. This is more a look within type thing. And it's to think or imagine assumptions that you have, either experienced in your own or just thought of, they've come up, and counteract your thought with the purpose and belief, right? So they probably won't listen to me. Well, they're a rock star and they deserve this, the access to this information. They probably won't qualify. Well, maybe one day they will. So as long as I guide them, right, to the information and care along the way, done my job. Or they're probably in a good spot. Well, every conversation matters, right? Maybe they're in a good spot, but maybe somebody they know is in a really bad spot, or a spot where they need to grow, and it's been that way for 3 years. So every thought has a counter thought, right? And that counter thought allows us to do these things, right? Every conversation matters. Guide them and care them along the way. So if we stop doing that, we stop serving, and we know how important serving is. That's my my concept for today. And I love to end my shebangs with a quote. And I love this one today. Never seen this one. Usually I see some of these, but it says, this is by Stephen Covey. It says, "Seek first to understand, then to be understood." Right? Seek first to understand, then to be understood, right? So the second we can understand them, and hey, I want to say this, if you're new, we're on here every day. That's the purpose of these huddles, is to get energy flowing, of course, so that we feel the camaraderie, but it's also to hear these stories and understand that when we go out with our chest forward and our shoulders back, right, about this platform, it may be your third day, but guess what? We got a funding story today. We had an amazing one yesterday, and the one that Ellen brought, right? Use these to our advantage, because we're all here doing the same thing,